where would you go? Where would
Sure.
you go today? Yeah.
Cool. Love it. So a few things. One of the most underrated cities, I think, in the United States is probably Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Right.
Not a huge
Right.
market, but a growing
Right.
market. Very friendly business politics. Notwithstanding the challenges with something like a Sioux Falls, though you could go into other markets,
Yep.
but then you have to play around next to like Minneapolis, which I don't like as much. The way they handled 2020 was quite confusing in my estimation. Chicago kind of scares me for, what's that gal, Lori Lightfoot? Kind of seems insane to me. But, yeah,
Right.
so there's some of that you get to deal with. Look, I like red states. I'm on the record for liking red states. There's a reason I did a deal in Nebraska and subsequently went to the state of Florida. I like red states. I like the freedom to be able to run my business largely as I see fit. Again, libertarian.
Yep.
So that's that.
Yep.
I think I would mostly look. Okay, let's back up. There's something really nice about consolidating a local market. That's what we've done. Brighter Utilities, I've done so much better than Brighter Living, which isn't surprising because it was my second turn versus my first turn. You learn things, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
The mistake I made with Brighter Living was doing a deal basically between Lincoln, Nebraska and Omaha, Nebraska, each of which are like small tertiary markets in and of themselves. But to be honest, I went into a tertiary market in a tertiary market. In other words, Nebraska, I think is fair to say, is a tertiary market. And then within the state of Nebraska, I went into a tertiary market, or at least definitely secondary market. So like,
the bottom of hell. Yeah, right.
Yeah, far out. I went to far out USA. Okay, that's a little too because then you have real logistics problems. You have to take a connecting flight just to get there. Like seriously, it becomes a thing. And then you're getting a rental car. When you're just thinking about consolidation, that can be quite difficult. And then you're almost having to rely on private aviation. And I know everyone wants to be in the private jet, but when you're dealing with a $1.3 million acquisition, it's a little hard to write, $40,000 a year in private aviation expenses. So it's like there's stuff. Okay, there's just stuff that
right.
But I would say ultimately, if you can get into like I'll take Tampa Bay, Florida. Okay, and I'm biased to it because I'm here and I know a lot about it. Tampa Bay, Florida, to me, kind of epitomizes what I think is really a nice looking market. What's Tampa Bay, Florida? Realistically, it's probably the third biggest market in the state of Florida. People tend to know of the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando markets first and second. And yet, if you look at Tampa Bay, it's growing. It has a couple million people in the metro. It's a red state. And it has enough meat on the bone to where, within a 2-year time, we'll have done, it'll end up being 4 deals in Tampa Bay. You consolidate them and you basically do a whole bunch of deals at 3X. And then you've gotten a valuation of probably 6 to 7, in under 24 calendar months. So those are the kinds of markets that I think are worth looking at. Now, I know you said you wanted to stay north of that Mason-Dixon line, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My first deal happened to be north of it, and the second one happened to be south. So wherever. But I guess I'd look for those metros that are showing. In Sioux Falls is a little small to quite provide that, to be honest with you. But it's one of those it's one of those like growing markets that nobody knows of. It's why I said it, and I wasn't too far away from there before. I'm sure there's others. Right now, I like the Southeast. A lot of people are migrating to the Southeast. I know you said you wanted to stay north, so maybe this doesn't apply. But
did you go to the Southeast also for a lifestyle?
No. It had nothing to do. I'm in a very nice spot. It had nothing to do with that. Literally nothing. Because I was in Nebraska before. I went to a tertiary market in a tertiary. I'm a surfer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the Gulf side of Florida.
Right.
You see, there's no way. So, if I did it my way, I would have done it on the Atlantic side. No, I never believe in doing deals based on, I don't believe business and pleasure should overlap whatsoever. Maybe that's wrong, but I love business. I love business. So that is my pleasure. And that's the extent of the pleasure that I give myself. I almost like, you stay off. If you don't eat candy or if you don't drink soda, then you never like crave it. If you don't run your business for pleasure, then you never crave the pleasure that you never had. That's how I go about it. There's so many markets there's so many damn markets. You pull up a map and you just look at the United States.
Oh yeah.
There are
Yeah.
so many markets. I mean, for us, look, I don't hold anything back. We have about 10 markets we'd like to get into before the end of the decade. And they basically include Tampa, Orlando, the Fort Lauderdale, Miami metro, Atlanta, Nashville,
Yep.
Houston,
Yep.
Dallas,
Nice.
Austin, San Antonio, it's basically one of the same. And then like other ones that we'll consider include markets like Denver, Kansas City, St. Louis, perhaps Indianapolis. And that's kind of where, and then Phoenix. Phoenix is a different animal. It's a beast of a market now.
So where does it jump off from, hub and spoke to, okay, it doesn't matter about hub and spoke anymore? And I know that, of course, yours is in the middle of America, but it's a property purchase or the manufactured housing, so and not as much management. But sort of, sometimes when I think about it, it's sort of like, oh, okay, so if I'm going to move from that's going to be fun, And I'm not making it as a joke, but it sounds, sort of, it'll be a change in lifestyle.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
Right.
came from a great
lifestyle. You went from
lifestyle
Medellin. Yeah, you left fucking the land of milk and honey.
Correct.
I get it. Right.
So let me say this.
Yeah, man.
Here's the variable. Yeah. So I know exactly what you mean. Hey, that was I served my life to enjoy it and then I pivoted, but I digress. Here's what I would say to you.
Yep.
I think you want to keep a real tight hub and spoke until you have private aviation or until you are, or if you're only going to do deals in major metros where you can get direct flights on commercial airliners wherever you go. Logistics, in other words. So for us right now, we've kept a real tight hub where within 100 miles, all our deals have really been, which has been great. And now I'm humping to probably get, I haven't really shared this, but I'm going to be getting my general aviation, or not general, basically an aviation license, instrument rating.
Yep.
And we'll probably be buying a company plane so that we can really take on the Southeast, but go into these secondary markets within the Southeast that are a bitch to get to. I was telling, I don't know if you heard this or not, but I drove to, it was such a bitch to get a flight to this deal we looked at in the Panhandle, Florida, that I ended up driving because it was the same time and the drive killed me. But it was just, it was tough. 14 hours on the road for 3 hours of business. Like, goddamn, you just do business that way. It scales. So I think you want to stay tight until you have the budget to meaningfully budget private aviation of some sort to allow you to connect, to make the world smaller and to save time.
Hey, it's Jason Rogers. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up the video, and for more, go to jasonpaulrogers.com.